This is exactly how we booked 11 calls and closed 2 deals in 5 days for a SaaS startup client of ours. How's it going, everybody? My name is Ryan Bryden. I run a demand gen agency called Breakout Creatives. And this is going to be going over pretty much the entire A to Z campaign strategy, copy, targeting, everything that we did to make this happen. And here's our conversation in Slack here. So without further ado, let's get right into this. So what this company was, I just put a video actually talking about some of the work that we've done with them, but they're called Octup. They are in the direct-to-consumer 3PL space, and they sell a technology platform helping operations and things like that. So for the campaign, we had ran a bunch of campaigns previously targeting e-com brands themselves rather than the 3PLs that they work with. And we found okay success with that, but this is what really took it to a new level. So the kind of roles that we were targeting, obviously heads of partnership, I'll get into that in a second, business dev roles, if they were small enough, founders, and then really anything else, C-suite related, marketing, sales, things like that. We didn't get too specific with the targeting, but I'll show you what we did do inside of Clay, which I thought was pretty cool. So the strategy behind this, right? So what we were selling wasn't actually the platform itself, but what we were selling and why I think this works so well is we framed it as a partnership, or what we were selling was a white label offer of the actual platform to these 3PLs and their brands that they work with, right? So the direct to consumer brands are the actual end users of the platform, but when we were doing one-to-one outbound to them, it was working okay, and we were booking a decent amount of demos. But what we thought is, or what me and what the Octave team thought is that, targeting these 3PLs that have a lot of these brands on board was probably a more efficient strategy. And then they came up with an offer to white label that platform, obviously for a price. And so I think because of this, and we framed it as a partnership in our copy, what this does, just from an outbound perspective, lowers sales friction immensely, right? And it makes it seem like so much less of a traditional cold email. You don't feel like you're being pitched as much because it is a partnership. And there was a bit more back end on the offer that I don't have full access to explain, but so we use that, and we kind of use that partnership angle. I'll show you the copy in just a second, as well as the founder at Octave has a strong personal brand on LinkedIn. So what we did, in addition to email outreach, is we leveraged his authority and we ran campaigns on Dripify, which does LinkedIn automation, to the same list. So this way we were hitting them in two different areas, both on LinkedIn and on email. And the lists were scraped from a lookalike list that I built in Clay of current clients that Octup was working with in the 3PL space. So, in Clay, they have the lookalike list builder of companies. So that's what we did. And we took the current clients that Octup is working with in the 3PL space, try to find similar companies to that in our list. So that's what we did for the kind of strategy and what that targeting looked like. This was the best performing email variant. Now, if you take a read, I mean, it's not anything special, if I'm being honest, right? But I think the first line is pretty good. I think, you wanted to talk partnerships. Again, we're trying to lower that sales friction, right? Because in cold email, obviously that sales friction is going to be higher. People are expecting a pitch. But when you see that first line about, hey, so and so, I just wanted to talk partnerships with you. You know what I mean? It really lowers that guard that the prospect has over seeing a cold email, and it's going to make them read further. We also kind of went against a few cold email rules of myself and that a lot of people probably use as well, which we made it very kind of corporate-y and formal. I say my team and I are building Octup, a blank platform, blah, blah, blah. That's not something you would normally do, or that I would normally do in a cold email. You want to be direct, you want to be to the point, you want to be quick, snappy. Nobody cares what you're building. But I think because we're framing this as a partnership, because of that, we want to make it a bit more personable and really try to avoid all of that cold email stigma that exists. And then I mentioned that we've been getting attention from other 3PLs as we help them. And then I named some of the value props that we have here. And then I just pushed for time for a call. And that's really all that it was. I mean, I say it was easy, but I'm pushing a great product to a good list. There's a lot of things in the back end that help make this campaign successful, but still nothing crazy on the email. So like I said, tried to make it personable, and framed around being a mutually beneficial partnership, which it obviously is. Like, this wasn't a bait and switch. Like, I wasn't saying, hey, this is a partnership, and then you try to sell it to them right in their face. It actually was a partnership. Um, Heavily spin taxed for obvious reasons for deliverability stuff. And I think one thing to note too is that very little sales language being used. Like, I don't mention anything to do with pricing or anything like that, or guarantee, or it's for, like, there's none of that kind of language, which I think really makes it, you know, that and the intro that I kind of have here makes it a bit more one to one and personable, which is why I think it probably worked better than some other stuff has. So the results, this was one day last week. We did 9 demos in 4 days. And Mikey, who I've been kind of working close with, he's the head of growth at Octap here, closed 2 deals that day, which is awesome. And these are pretty large deals, so some nice MRR added there. And then this was at the end of the week, a few more bookings. We had a record week, 11 bookings in 5 days, all super qualified in the ICP. So glad that we got that going for them, and hoping to keep that up in the future, push this vertical and this offer as far as we can. If you are a SaaS company, if you are a agency owner looking to generate demos through Outbound, more specifically anywhere from 20 to 30 demos per quarter, using cold email, using Outbound, you can check the link in the description for what we do. I'll also drop the link to this doc right here if you want to read over that script that I added, or any of these documents in here, just kind of explaining a bit more about what we do, how we might be able to help. Feel free. If not, leave a like, subscribe. I love you. Talk to you soon. Peace.